Yeah, it's a pretty sad day for me. I got charged on Thursday by the Ministry of Environment, Medio Ambiente, for destroying the environment. It wasn't a charge by the government, it was a charge by three sisters that own the land around me. And they are claiming that I have cut down all their trees, I've destroyed their land, and that it's a very serious charge on their part because they've lost their land.
Our piece of land suffered so much damage. The first day we arrived, we didn't even recognize the place. It was so destroyed.
So I'm at work here on the property, and a perito, an officer, comes here and tells me that there's been a restraining order placed on me. This restraining order came with paperwork. So he gives me the paperwork, and I read the paperwork, and it says that a lady, the same ladies that are giving me trouble here, is that she can't sleep at night because she's worried that I'm going to send a horse to have sex with her. And I don't even own a horse like that she's describing. The horse is called Combo, and that I'm sending this horse to attack her at night to have sex with her. So a clerk physically filled out this paperwork and sent this paperwork off to come back here to say that she has a letter of protection against me because I'm sending my horse to have sex with her. That's okay. You know, I understand what they're trying to do. But what isn't okay is she has a restraining order. She came here to my property and she started ripping out plants, telling me that I'm not allowed to have plants here. That's stepping over the boundary. She was here with the environmental officers, and she started ripping out the plants down below. I asked the officers not to allow her on my property. She placed a restraining order against me. She broke that restraining order by coming here and tearing out the plants. So that's just the story I wanted to tell before I start getting into this environmental scenario. So I was thinking the whole time that I was here, I'm going, why are these people cutting down all these trees? Why are they chopping everything down? Now they started on this side, they've cut down everything, and it's not going to stop. They're going to cut down every tree that is on that land. And that land was great because it was a holding area for the birds. There were so many birds in there because it was so dense. The birds were coming from there to this garden because we're the only place that has flowers. In this whole valley, it's completely destroyed. Everything has been chopped down. Everything is turned into pasture for cows. And this destruction is endless. To have the Ministry of Natural Resources come here to a food forest where there's all this life and lizards and bugs and insects and pollinators and birds and small mammals, for them to come here to tell me that you have a charge against you, multiple charges for destroying the environment, is a very sad thing for me because it's the exact opposite of what I'm doing. I'm creating something beautiful. I'm creating something long-lasting. It's a bit of a protection zone for animals. They come here, they're peaceful, except for the wild dogs that come from the neighborhood, not wild, people's dogs that they let go at night. So it's what more can I say? It's a very sad day that somebody would even do the paperwork on it, that I've destroyed this piece of land. When we arrived here, this land was completely destroyed. Even a land that didn't belong to these people, they still had to have their cows on here. They had to cut down everything on somebody else's land. And now they are complaining to the Ministry of Environment that somebody has created something beautiful. When you have a society that can't accept something different, something beautiful, something alive, something that has a forward movement, then we get into a lot of trouble, because if you cannot recognize something that is different, something that is trying to improve the world, something that is a teaching facility. We have so many children coming here, and they're in awe how a place like this could exist. But yet, I've had 2 encounters with the medio ambiente, with the natural resources. The first time, a man in uniform shows up here, and he starts yelling at me. And he says to me, "The destruction you have done is outrageous, and I want you to remove your machinery from down below." My response was, I don't have any machinery. I don't own any land down there. And what happened to the poor guy, and I'm not really blaming him, somebody told him that there's a foreigner who's destroying the valley down below with heavy equipment. Not my equipment, not me. I never did any of that. So they have this problem where people make a statement, they go to the authorities, they make a claim, and the authorities have to follow up on it. I have 2 examples. The lady that's laying the charges against me shows up here when we started to work, and she told the building inspector or the ordinance guy that I was tearing down her house. I was in disbelief. The guy who blocked the road and her showed up with the ordinance officer, and he came and he started yelling at me. He said, "Why are you tearing this lady's house down?" I said, "Excuse me, what are you talking about?" "Well, she says that you're tearing her house down." And I said to him, "I don't know what you're talking about, really sorry." So he asked the lady, "You chased me out here. Where is your house? Show me where your house is." "Oh, I don't have a house, I'm really sorry." "So you made us come here at the speed of light so that this man wouldn't tear down your house, and there's no house here. What is that?" No charges were laid against her, nothing, not even mischief. She didn't get any charges. The first guy who said that I destroyed the land, the valley down below with my heavy machinery, no charges were laid. The man from the medio ambiente knew who this man was. 2 months ago, the lady shows up, and she holds her phone in front of my face. "Yo soy una bruja, yo soy una bruja, yo soy una bruja." She asked me about 40 times if she's a witch. And I said, "Yes, you are a witch." Okay, she took that film to the fiscal, to the police, and said that I called her a witch. The police officers reviewed the footage, and she says, "Well, you're asking the guy 50 times if you're a witch. What do you expect the guy to say?" I just wanted her off the property. It was so annoying that day. So anyways, the same lady has laid charges against me that I've destroyed this place. I was kind of like a little bit not understanding where this destruction came from, why they had such an urge to destroy their own land. And now it kind of falls into place that she wanted to make sure that her land was destroyed so she could lay charges against me. And they're continuing, and they're it's like, it's so strange, this behavior. I can't even understand how somebody would do that to their own land, and to that extent, so that she could get me into trouble. It's like there's something wrong there. There's something really completely misplaced. I am so fortunate that I have everything documented. I have them cutting down trees documented. I have them behaving in a mad manner. I have it documented. I have this envy and anger. You can see it in their faces. You can just tell how these people can't accept that someone might do something good. It is so, I don't know, it is so hard to understand that humanity cannot accept that somebody is trying to create a safe haven or a food forest or living off the land. Or this envy is like, it's like really hard for me to understand. They care so much about what I'm doing here. They care so deeply that I'm moving forward. They care so deeply that the buildings are almost done. They hate it. They just absolutely despise goodness. And the only thing we have in this world is goodness. That's the only thing we have left. We have to move forward. We have to keep improving things. We have to really understand how nature works. We need to do all those things, and we're not doing enough of it. So I had a good chat with one of the officers, and I told him very straight out, either they want money from us, or they want to. This charge about me destroying this place isn't about the physical activity of destroying something. It's the physical activity of somebody not being able to digest something like this. It is very hard for someone to say, well, this guy's got over 1,000 different plants growing here. He's got food everywhere. He's got his soil so upgraded that it works really well. All those things are, really hard to digest. And they want to spread evil and hatred and all these things. And all I can do on my part is avoid them like the plague. I can't deal with them. I don't want to deal with them. They come here. I never go to them. They're constantly here trying to destroy their own land so that I suffer. But they don't understand that they could duplicate this. I would even show them how to duplicate it. I would show them how to grow food. I would show them all these things. But they don't want it. They don't want the goodness. They don't want to experience anything that might be an improvement in their lives. So I'm going to do a little walk right now and show you what has happened here, how much destruction they have done. I have footage of them chopping everything down. ¡Hey! ¡No cortan todos los árboles! But I'm going to show you guys the end result and how somebody could construe that I'm the cause. It is believable that, they could make a statement that I'm the one responsible for all the destruction on their land. But thankfully to YouTube and my efforts in videotaping everything, I have so much footage of the exact opposite of their efforts to destroy their own land. So I'm going to take you on a little tour to show you what they've done. Yeah, this is the destruction. I don't want to get too much into it, but basically you have a thin layer of 4 inches of topsoil and this blue, toxic, very strong shale, very hard for weeds or anything to grow in it. And their effort now is turned to this side. They want to chop all this down. They're doing a good job. He's got all that up there cut down. I don't know why they would even touch this here, because what are you going to grow on there? There's nothing you can grow. So that's this side here. Here's a big tree that she cut down a long time ago. So the destruction is their objective, and the logic behind it doesn't exist. Yeah, they've switched their focus now on cutting all this down. All this will be gone probably by the weekend. This was a great spot for the birds to hide out. They had so much protection in here. They're absolutely chopping everything down with no explanation. So pretty rough on the environment. This is another thing that's really annoying about this woman. She comes with kerosene or some type of a chemical, and she sprays the edges. These are my strawberries. She sprays all these edges, just the edges of the river, because she's so scared of snakes. That's why she has this kerosene with her, and she puts it everywhere along the edges of the river. And everything is dead along the edge of the river. She just poisons everything. Here's another image of the destruction. They just push everything into the river, cut all the trees down. It's everywhere. They're just cutting down absolutely everything. You know, it's interesting to me, the government of New Zealand and the government of Ecuador, I'm not 100% sure, but I think they're the only two countries where you don't have to sue the government or the person that's harassing you. You can allow the river to sue them. The environment can sue back. So the environment has a voice. You hire a lawyer. The lawyer uses the voice of the environment to lay the charges and to fight back. It's a great system. I got something here. So as I said before, I'm really fortunate to have everything documented, the struggles, the build, the respect for sensitivity while we were building. We built this entire building out of steel studs so it would have a very small environmental impact instead of cement or anything like that. So I'm going to fight back. I'm going to take this on very personal. The destruction in this valley, we have 1,000 hectares here, and I will make a little bit of a bet that there's not a single flower anywhere else. I don't see anything flowering. I don't see anything alive. We've had the worst drought here in Ecuador. There's fires everywhere. There's garbage everywhere.
This person is constantly dumping his garbage into the river. He has dump trucks every day. He's dumping a load into the river. He has been denounced so many times. Nothing has ever happened to the guy.
There's problems everywhere. There's people dumping raw sewage into the river here. There's people throwing all their garbage in the river. And the Ministry of Environment comes here to go after me because somebody is saying that I'm destroying the environment. I'm sorry, I have a real problem with that. And they actually filed the paperwork, so that's on them. They've come here twice to give me a hard time. And I'm going to fight back. I've hired a lawyer already, and I'm not putting up with this. Like, clean up your own backyard before you come to give somebody a hard time that is trying his best to create this environment for everything that is alive. A very sad day for me. I'm still in disbelief. Just wanted to make this video to explain to people how the obvious is never the obvious. There's always people that will push this limit of reality. And I'm ready for the fight. I'm ready for the battle. I'm going to continue making this a beautiful place. If they want to slow me down or give me trouble, I'm up for it. I have no problem getting into a battle like this. Anyways, the officers, I explained to them the situation, that we have restraining orders, that we're not allowed to be next to each other. These officers did absolutely nothing. I asked the women to leave. They would not leave. They walked through all my land on top there. And one of the ladies started ripping out plants. And I said, don't do that. And I got really upset with her. I said, don't rip out my plants. She says, oh, well, you know, you're not supposed to grow here. Oh, okay, I'm not supposed to grow here. So I put back, I had some weeping willows that she ripped out. I put them into the ground right away to get them, you know, they just started rooting. So this mentality of destruction is enriched in this this concept of burning everything, cutting everything down, destroying everything that is alive, killing all the animals. It's like Ecuador is based on this biodiversity that is attracting tourists, this idea that life is everywhere, and that's not happening anymore. There's a destruction that is built into these people. And I'm not talking 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds, 15-year-olds. I'm talking the 60, 70-year-olds, 50-year-olds. They're the ones right now that are so aggressive towards nature. They're setting fires so they can, control their land. It's I don't even know how to describe it. It is so destructive, and it has to stop. Something has to change. There has to be a change in mentality to stop this aggression towards nature.